Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm a sleep physician, and if you have insomnia, this channel is for you. Dawn from episode 222 and 225 is doing really well, starting to restrict his time in bed, and has a couple of really good questions. Have I ever seen somebody with type B personality develop insomnia? And is an EBB, an ebb device that cools your brain, good for insomnia? Hi there, super excited having you back here. If you're new to the channel, then a big welcome to you, of course. And in this episode, we will continue answering some questions from Dawn. And where should we start? Actually, let's save the best for last, which is where we hear what's happening to Dawn as he's starting to use some CBTI techniques. Again, by the way, if you want some background, check out episode 222 and 225, where those are also answers to Dawn. Now, Dawn sent me a text or a message this morning, and he said, "Hi, I was wondering if you have ever met an insomniac who had a type B personality." Now, I don't know exactly, I've never read about type B, but I'm assuming it's kind of the opposite of type A, like somebody who's kind of like, where you'll kind of let go, take it easy, like, has a heart that never gets stressed about anything, like very like that, very zen, like, and I've never particularly reflected upon this, and my spontaneous answer is that very few. That's the most spontaneous thought. I mean, I haven't thought deeply about this, but I really don't think I've seen many people that are like completely type B, if you will, develop insomnia. I really think it's, kind of the more type A, the more structured, organized, kind of a little bit OCD, like that you are, the more at risk you are of developing insomnia. But as I've said previously in the previous episode, that can also actually work in your favor, because the techniques that are involved with like CBT, a lot of them are very like cut and dry, like you have to get up at this time, you cannot go to bed before this time, etc. And if you're type A, you can actually like be very strict with that, and so type A can be like the problem and the solution. So I hope that was helpful for that one. And then here, a side note that I found funny. Facebook has noticed that I've been questioning insomnia via our brief discussion, so I'm receiving ads for this EBB sleep device, which cools the frontal lobe. Don't see how that would be possible, but I have no intention to buy it, but I think your opinion may help others. Thank you. I've gotten like advertising about this. I've heard about this ebb device, and I'm completely bearish on this one. I think it's nonsensical. I don't see at all how that would help. There are all kinds of like devices and gimmicks and like tricks and things like that. But the real reason people have trouble sleeping is oftentimes like deep-rooted dysfunctional beliefs and like practices that are not helpful, habits that are not helpful, stress, anxiety, and cooling your head. I do not believe that's going to have any positive impact. If somebody has like kind of like fleeting things or like like that, then kind of like placebo, anything can help, and so forth. But yeah, as a kind of solution to more significant insomnia, I absolutely do not think it's going to help at all. And I'm sure you're not surprised by that. And now. So Dawn, when did we first connect? Let me scroll back here. July 29th, and we're now August. So that was like about 10 days ago. And Dawn already indicated that he's doing better after he started like restricting time in bed. And I'm going to read a couple of things. Also, I would like to thank you again for introduction to sleep restriction. I'm continuing to show improvement with the quality of my sleep. And then later on, it's amazing something so simple is so successful. Too bad I didn't run into you or CBTI 28 years ago. I would say that I'm at least as sleepy during the night with sleep restriction therapy when I wake up as I was with Klonipin, which I was prescribed many years ago but tapered off myself a year ago with some significant prolonged rebound insomnia. Usually wake 4 to 6 times but falling back asleep much faster. Now, some things are super encouraging here. This last thing, like a typical early positive sign is somebody saying, you know what, I'm still waking up a lot, but I'm falling back asleep faster. That's something I hear typically, like early on when people are starting to have benefit. Awesome. Your positive attitude, Don, is also helpful, very important. And now, adding to that, for almost everyone, I would say, that I've interacted with on this channel or that I see in clinic, there is a time where the insomnia kind of starts fighting back. That could be after 2 good days, you have a terrible one. It could be like a week goes by and then you have a couple of really bad nights or things like that. And now, number one, that is completely expected, And let's see how we're on time. 5 minutes here, and why is that? Well, I think it is almost like an extinction burst, like meaning when you have a kid that like really wants your attention, always crying, always screaming for it, and you decide, you know what, I'm just not going to give that kid any attention, and then they were eventually going to stop screaming. Well, you know what, that works, but before it really starts working, that kid may like really try to get your attention by screaming worse. So I think oftentimes like the insomnia may come back like that, and that can be a good sign actually. That means that you're doing something, the insomnia is responding, and if you just keep going, it's going to get better. And that's where I want to go. The most important thing is like when somebody starts seeing improvement and then things go back, like in the insomnia state back, don't react to that. Try not to react to that. Whatever you were doing before, keep doing that. Treat it like you have a cold, like it's really annoying, you feel tired a little, but you know it's going to wait. Just keep doing what you're doing, like keep moving forward. Don't react to the insomnia. That's an important one. So that said, look forward to having you back tomorrow. It's going to be a long episode. It's going to be a reply to Amy, Julie, is it Julie or Julie? Julie and Jay and perhaps somebody else as well. So and in addition to that, if I have time, I'll do like this long podcast reply, and also have some of the material I want to talk about. So I hope to have you back again tomorrow, and until then, stay out of trouble.